A lot of you have probably heard of the metaverse. If you're innovating in the metaverse space, you need to consider how patents, trademarks, and copyrights could possibly be protected and expanded into this area. Many intellectual property issues are going to arise. Just like with any new creative space where creatives are able to generate and create new content, new characters, new ways of communicating, new forms of artistic expression, any sort of forum where you have this sort of behavior is going to spark intellectual property issues. And this is going to be especially true in the metaverse. So generally, the metaverse involves virtual worlds that have social connection integrated inside the virtual world. Now, a lot of these virtual worlds in the metaverse are being facilitated by headsets like AR headsets, augmented reality, and also VR headsets, virtual reality headsets. What we're going to start seeing as more and more attention is given to the metaverse, as more and more individuals spend real time in metaverses, in these virtual worlds, either through headsets or maybe just on their desktops. We're going to see more and more of the big players invest serious resources in developing and investing in these virtual worlds with their brands and with their trademarks, with their copyrights, and with their intellectual property. How do we measure that? How do we likely predict which of these entities are going to be the movers in this space? It's probably going to be the ones that already have serious brands and already have invested a lot of money in building out their brands. So for example, fashion industry, the Hermes of the world, the Nikes, all these big apparel businesses are probably going to be early movers in this space because they have amassed an enormous quantity of trademarks. And so a natural extension of this worldwide investment is also in investing in the metaverse and in developing out these virtual worlds and promoting their brands across these various virtual platforms. Another thing to consider are the entities that are procuring a lot of patents in this space. In other words, in hardware that is going to enable the metaverse and allow people to more easily access the metaverse in a more real way. So for example, Meta, formerly Facebook, has a large quantity of patents in the headset space. So individuals are going to want these headsets so that they can actually immerse themselves in these virtual worlds. Another interesting hardware company that's heavily involved in this space is NVIDIA, known for making graphics processor units, right? Obviously, in order to promote this virtual reality, there needs to be the GPU capabilities in order to enable these environments to look as realistic as possible in a way that's computationally possible. And so NVIDIA has also procured many patents in this space that's going to directly affect people's ability to immerse themselves in the metaverse. Now let's talk about the software side of this. Unity, right? Unity is another really big software player that's enabling people, giving developers the tools they need in order to create these virtual worlds. One of the things that happens whenever you have a new opportunity like this, especially as big as the metaverse opportunity, is you have a lot of companies that are going to start putting out subject matter out there just to block others from being able to obtain patents in that space. So for example, companies may decide to release and go public with certain new products early intentionally so that they can block others from being able to file patents on that same subject matter. They might also take the strategy of filing only in the US and maintaining their applications confidential until issuance. You're going to see less of that with bigger entities, with bigger organizations. Large companies are going to be more inclined to want to file internationally, but still, they could request early publication. And in some cases, by the time that their applications are published, it might be the case that will be sufficient to dissuade others from wanting to enter the space with similar products. Big companies like to file internationally because it affords them the opportunity to protect their intellectual property across more jurisdictions. So it gives them a competitive advantage in, say, Europe, in China, in Japan, in Korea, in France, in the UK. A lot of large companies decide to pursue patents there as well because why not also try to gain a competitive edge in those markets? I wanted to remind everybody that this is not legal advice. I highly encourage you all to seek intellectual property counsel because there's a lot of pitfalls and there's a lot of issues around copyrights, trademarks, and patents. I'm Amir with the DBIP Group. We're intellectual property professionals helping innovators protect their intellectual property. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope it made you think about all the opportunities for developing out your brand, for growing your intellectual property as you enter this new space.